Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the question for the day. This question is asked by Mr. Rajesh Thakkar, founder of Prime Steels and also founder of Ambe Krupa Transport Service. The nature of their business is steel trading, transportation of steel, and hiring of construction equipments, that is cranes and boom lifts and so on. His question is, we are having an opportunity to invest in new capital goods, which they rent out and put it on contract mainly to infrastructure industry. He's asking, return is after a long time of 5 to 6 years. And the order from the customer may be only for 3 years. Under such circumstances, is it time to invest and to go for it? Rajesh, it's a question of your business model and it's a question of your past experience so far and your assessment of the post-COVID situation so far. As I have said always, no answer is a right or a wrong answer. All answers depend on the perspective of who you are, where you stand as a company, which industry you operate in, and what has been your past experience and what's your worldview of future business evolution in your industry. Having said that, prima facie, it would appear that the business would be justified if the rental margins are good enough, which means that after providing for the capital interest cost, the depreciation cost, the repairs and maintenance costs, and if you are providing operators, etc., skilled labor, etc., then their costs. After providing for these costs and after providing for a decent return on investment for you, you should still be left with some buffer for such periods that the equipment remains out of contract. You said that the equipment will become free only in 5 to 6 years, but the contract is only for 3 years. So then there are chances that the equipment might remain out of contract. So therefore, the gross margins or the rate at which you are doing your business is extremely important. This is my point number one. My point number two is, if these equipments are always in demand and if you can always find another client in case the first contract ends and the client doesn't renew it, and if it is very easy to find another client, then of course it is worthwhile. As long as, again, the gross margins allow you to recover the items that I have already mentioned, which is the interest, the depreciation, the repairs and maintenance, and the cost for labor, skilled labor, etc., that you are providing, if any. If the equipment is too specialized and useful only for a few companies or a handful of companies, which means that you are running the risk of not finding another party to rent out or to contract this equipment, then perhaps I would strongly urge you to negotiate a longer period of time with that company. Their project may get over in 3 to 5 years, but a good infrastructure company may have multiple similar type of projects happening. That would make it safer for you. The third option would be that if you are able to buy such equipment, maybe used, maybe slightly used, at a substantially lower cost because of financial stress or because somebody else's equipment they are not able to contract, but you are able to contract. And if you are substantially able to lower your cost of acquisition, then the whole business transaction may become more viable. You don't have to wait until 5 to 6 years to get the return on your investment, which was a substantially lower investment. So that's yet another option or a perspective that you can look at. I'm sure you must have looked at all these aspects already. This is your day-to-day business. Finally, though I don't know exactly what your business model is, But if after taking out your operating expenses, running expenses, and the maintenance, spare parts, and repairs, preventive as well as emergency or breakdown, which may be more expensive. So after taking out all these expenses, but without taking out the interest cost or the financial costs, if your IRR, internal rate of return, is between 18 and 25 or 18 and 30%, I don't know the range that you have, but I'm just giving you a very wide, broad range. The minimum being 18%, below which you should not consider unless and until the contract is irrevocable and for a longer period. So if the IRR is in the range that I have suggested, then it may still be a worthwhile business decision. But your relationship with the party and your legal documentation has to be very tight, very strong. Because on their behalf, you are investing the money. And cash is king right now. So you need to tread with caution. You also have to make sure that your amounts will come regularly and that you don't have to follow up a lot. Hope this answers your question. See you tomorrow, guys, for the next business challenge question. Bye-bye.